Hello again, it's tubalcain at your service, and this is episode number 43B, the answer to my What Is It Mystery Tools series. And there are 5 items here which in a moment I will get to, and I'll disclose the answers, or try to, that is. Okay, before I get started, a couple things here. I talked in the last video about the format of this series and whether I should change it. And most people want it the way it is, and I think I do as well. There are some people, malcontents, and those with ADD and so on, that want the answers right away. So what I suggest to those people is do not watch Part A, the question. And that's already happening, because if you look at the numbers, there are many, many more views of the answers than there are at the question. So we're going to keep it the way it is. So let's get on. And along that same vein, there were times in the past where, to speed things up, I would do both videos at the same time. In other words, I would run through all the tools and ask what it is, and then 5 minutes later, 7 minutes later, I would say, now this is a so-and-so. But I regretted doing that because, again, there were some items that I didn't really know the answer to, and it really helps me to read through the comments of Part A and then kind of bounce off some of those. That gives me some good ideas and some ammunition for talking about the tools. So let me start here with the chisels. And these chisels are called diamond-pointed chisels. And the reason for that, if you look at the way they're ground here, it looks like a diamond from this angle. Very easy to resharpen. Extremely easy to resharpen. And I'm just shocked at how many people still use chisels. And many of you have told me that in the comments, what you use them for or why you use them. I'm thinking these are just tools of the past that are never used anymore. Here's one that needs a real quick grinding. Well, some of you call these veining chisels. Others said they use them for putting oil grooves in bronze bushings. Some call them corner chisels, and others even call them engraving tools. Now here is an engraving tool, a very old one, and you can still buy these in Brownells, but look at the shape of that. That's a diamond. Would be used like this to make grooves or veins. And look at the engraving on this one. This is still under guarantee. Over 100 years old and in perfect shape. It is kind of a neat tool. I used to have a lot more of these. I don't know what happened to them, but I believe they come out of this handle. I just sharpened this diamond point chisel, which is a very easy job. This is soft aluminum, but watch what it can do in terms of grooving. Someone aptly called this a corner chisel. This would be extremely handy, let's say on a great big motor shaft, say a 2-inch diameter or something like that, to clean up. Of course you could do it with a file as well, but to clean up a buggered up corner. That would work real nice. I'm just using it by hand now. Alright, just some ideas about the diamond point chisel. This is a Malco brand tool. Go to their website. You can see they make a lot of different sheet metal tools and tools for the trade where you might apply siding or different things like that. Quite a wide line, and they make these in a better version too. This is just a stamped piece, probably under $10, but the purpose of this was, and most people knew what this was, vinyl siding. Maybe you can use it for aluminum, I don't know. This is just a piece of cardboard because I don't have any vinyl. It puts a little bit of a slot in there that then allows the the vinyl or the aluminum to be clipped up into the other channel or the other piece and remain in place without nailing. Virtually everyone knew what this was, and I had these names taped up, but I don't know if Multimeter is the brand out of Auburn, Indiana, and that's the model number. And I understand there's a wonderful museum, Cord, Auburn, and what's the other brand? Duesenberg, I think, in Auburn, Indiana. I would love to get over there and see that, but here, what looks like a screwdriver end, I think is for that vent hole. At least that's what people tell me. I didn't know there was such a tool. I dealt a lot with drums when I was a kid, but we would just pound them out with a punch or whatever we could find. I didn't know there was a special tool for that. Non-sparking. I'm very surprised this is made of aluminum. I would think it would be breaking off someplace here because some of those bungs were really tight. And in a recent video I showed this one, which is also a bung wrench, non-sparking, probably used in the oil industry or gas industry. A little bit different. I guess that would fit in the bungs. I don't know. This is beryllium copper, which is extremely dangerous. I've talked about that before. Be sure and read through the comments, and I think a lot of people do that. They go back and look to see what other people have said, and I do that myself. I think that's why there's so many people that have watched part 2, that is part B, because they like to research. One guy said he loves to research. Think about it, go back the next day and look at it. So I think that's why there's a lot of views. Well, I didn't get a good answer on this. There is no name on it, just all kinds of guesses on this. The most plausible one to me was to put chains on tires, winter tire chains, but yet, and that makes sense on this piece, but this wouldn't hold chains. That's obviously made for cable or rope or something of that nature. Someone suggested it was used to tighten guy wires on utility poles, but I've watched them do that and I don't remember this. Other people said it's for tightening fences, fence stretcher. That's the most likely. But there were hundreds of different kinds of fence stretchers, maybe thousands of whatever somebody could think up and try to market. This is kind of a expensive tool. It would be not a throwaway tool by any means. So we still don't know, and if you do know, I did searches on this under tires, chain stretchers or pliers, and just couldn't come up with anything concrete on that. So this one remains unknown. This tool was given to me by Terry Plata last summer. He used to be a shop teacher not too far from here, and then he worked at Caterpillar not too far from here. Things that I did, but I did not know him at the time. He lives in Texas. He visited me and brought me this tool. He didn't know what it was, and I guess I lied to you when I said there was no markings on it, because there is a marking right there, and it is E. Rogers, and then there's a patent date, March 31st, but then it's illegible. A lot of answers on this, but I don't think any of them were correct. Some people even said it was for bleeding animals or taking cysts off an animal. I don't believe that at all. Someone has pounded on this, probably a misuse of it, because you should have had your hands like this, whereas somebody was using a hammer and was not using this. I like the way this is made, the way it was split and then bent. Very, very old tool. Again, we don't have an answer for this. The cutting edge is not really, really sharp. Maybe it's just become dull. And it appears to be able to cut in either direction. Someone said it's for splitting shingles. Nah, I know what a froe is. A froe, actually, take the knob off and extend this by 12 inches and beat on it right here, and you got a froe for splitting chisels. That is not a froe. So, but I got a kick out of that. So thanks, Terry, for showing that to me. And if you ever do figure out the answer going by that, I did a patent search. That didn't do me any good. But some of you people are probably better researchers than I. Hope you enjoyed this edition. Be sure and continue to watch this series as I start to run out of ideas and tools. Some are too easy. Again, I told you I like some easy ones so people have some satisfaction. Tubalcain saying so long for now, and I'll see you soon in one of my many, many other videos. Happy New Year.